The sky over Chicago burned red as Commander John Ellis watched from the cracked window of an abandoned skyscraper. The alien ships hung in the air like giant metal insects, their weapons turning the once proud city into ash. This was the third time humans had tried to fight back against the Galactic Consortium. The third time they had failed. "Commander, we need to move now," said Linda Parker, his second in command. Her face was dirty, and there was a cut above her eye that hadn't fully healed. "The transport leaves in 20 minutes. If we miss it, we're dead." John nodded but didn't move right away. He wanted to remember this moment. The day Earth fell. The Consortium had finally lost patience with the troublesome humans. After 50 years of ruling Earth, they had decided the planet wasn't worth the trouble. The order had come 3 days ago. Complete planetary punishment. No survivors allowed. "Let them think they've won," John said quietly. The two officers made their way down 30 flights of stairs in the dark. Outside, they moved through shadows, avoiding the floating scanner drones that would alert the alien ships to human presence. The air smelled like burning plastic and worse things John didn't want to think about. They reached the underground train station, where 40 survivors waited with whatever they could carry. These weren't just any survivors. They were scientists, engineers, pilots, and soldiers. Each person had been chosen years ago, when the secret project first began. "Everyone here?" John asked Bill Murray, the gruff security chief who had somehow kept these people alive through 2 weeks of alien bombardment. "All accounted for, sir. We're the last group from the North American zone." The old subway train had been repaired just enough for one final journey. As they pulled away from Chicago, a massive explosion rocked the ground above them. The city was being leveled block by block. "The storage drives?" John asked Linda. She patted her backpack. "All here. Every scrap of data from the deep server. Engineering specs, weapon designs, star charts. Everything we'll need." The train moved through dark tunnels for hours. Some people slept. Most sat in silence. A young engineer named Alan Ross worked on a tablet, making calculations and muttering to himself. He had been the youngest team lead at NASA before the invasion. Now he was working on something much bigger. "Will it be ready?" John asked, sitting next to him. Alan looked up, his eyes red from lack of sleep. "It has to be, doesn't it? We've been building it for 7 years. The outer hull is complete. Propulsion systems are at 83%. Weapons are." He paused. "Well, they're coming along. And they still don't know about it." "No way. The Antarctic base is shielded from their scans. As far as the consortium knows, it's just a research station studying ice samples. The real facility is 2 miles below that." The train finally stopped at an abandoned airport where a hypersonic transport waited. It was one of the last working aircraft on Earth, hidden from alien sensors by technology reverse-engineered from a crashed consortium ship. As they boarded, John looked at the faces of his team. They were thin, tired, and scared. But there was something else there too. Determination. The aliens thought they were simply wiping out another troublesome species. They didn't understand that cornered animals fight the hardest. 6 hours later, they landed at the South Pole. The research station looked normal from above, just a few small buildings on the ice. But below, accessed through a freight elevator hidden in a storage room, was humanity's last hope. The elevator descended for nearly 10 minutes. When the doors opened, John felt the familiar sense of awe. The cavern was massive, carved from the Antarctic bedrock, and floating in a gigantic construction dock was the ship. "Welcome to Project Vengeance," said Director Carol White, waiting for them at the elevator. "I'm glad you made it. We need every one of you now." The EWS Vengeance was unlike anything humans had built before. Nearly a mile long, with a black hull that seemed to swallow light. It wasn't just a ship. It was everything humanity had left. Their knowledge, their anger, and their future. "How long?" John asked. 5 years, Carol replied. "Maybe 4 if we push. That's how long until she's ready to fly." "And the consortium?" They think they've won. Their ships are already leaving Earth orbit. In a month, they'll be gone. John nodded. Good. Let them think we're extinct. In 5 years, they'll learn how wrong they were. 5 years passed in the frozen base beneath Antarctica. The survivors of Earth built a small community in the vast caverns. Children were born. People died. But the work never stopped. Chief Engineer Samantha Wright floated in zero gravity inside the massive engine room of the Vengeance. Her hands moved quickly over the control panel. Sweat dripped up from her forehead in the strange gravity, forming tiny floating spheres around her head. Try it now, she called to her team. The massive ring at the center of the chamber began to glow with a soft blue light. The light grew brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Numbers flashed across Samantha's screen. Power output at 97%. That's the best we've seen yet, she said, allowing herself a small smile. The quantum core is stable. Alan Ross, now her assistant, gave a quiet cheer. They had been working on the ship's power system for 5 years. It used principles stolen from consortium technology, but improved by human innovation and desperation. Will it be enough? Alan asked. Samantha nodded. It will tear a hole in space big enough to fly through, and it will power weapons that can burn through consortium shields like paper. Meanwhile, in another part of the massive ship, Captain Adam Hayes walked through the crew quarters with Director Carol White. After 5 years, the living areas were finally ready. We can house 500 people, Carol explained. That's all we could fit while still making room for the weapon systems. Adam looked at the small rooms. They were plain but functional. Metal bunks, storage compartments. Nothing wasted. 500 people to save humanity, he said quietly. The rest will stay here in the base, Carol said. About 2,000 now, with the children born since the attack. If you succeed, you can come back for them. If not, she didn't finish the thought. They both knew what would happen if the Vengeance failed. The consortium would finish what they started. Humanity would be extinct. Later that day, Adam met with his newly formed command team in what would be the ship's bridge. The room was a half circle with stations for navigation, weapons, communications, and science. At the center was the captain's chair. The ship will be ready in 3 weeks, Adam told them. Each of you was chosen because you're the best at what you do. Now, I need to know if you're ready. Lisa Bennett, the ship's science officer, spoke first. The quantum vacuum drive is unlike anything the consortium has. It doesn't just move through space, it folds it. We'll be able to appear anywhere instantly. No warning. And our weapons? Adam asked. Security Officer Kevin Powell stood up. He was a former Marine who had fought aliens in the streets of Sydney before the final defeat. We have 3 main systems, Kevin explained. Particle beams that can cut through capital ships, kinetic launchers that fire metal at near light speed, and boarding pods so we can capture their ships and take their tech. Communications Officer Maria Garcia added, we've also studied their language and communication systems. We can listen to them. They won't be able to hide. Adam nodded, looking at each face in turn. His team was young. Most had been just starting their careers when Earth fell. But they had spent 5 years preparing for this moment. Navigation? Adam asked. Paul Jackson, a quiet man who had once been a commercial pilot, touched his screen. A map of the galaxy appeared above the table. I've plotted our first targets, he said. Small outposts, far from their main forces. We hit them fast, take what we need, and disappear. Each success makes us stronger. Adam stood and walked to the front viewport. The massive construction dock still held the Vengeance in place. Workers in spacesuits moved across the black hull, making final adjustments. In 3 weeks, we take the fight to them, Adam said. They think humans are gone. They think they won. He turned back to his crew. We're going to show them how wrong they were. In the darkness of the engine room, Samantha watched the quantum core pulse. Each beat brought them closer to their moment of revenge. She thought about her family, killed when the aliens bombed Boston. She thought about all that humanity had lost. "We're coming for you," she whispered to the empty space beyond the ship. "And we're bringing hell with us." The EWS Vengeance moved silently through the darkness of space. Its black hull absorbed light rather than reflected it. On the bridge, Captain Adam Hayes watched as his crew prepared for their first attack. "Target in range," said Paul Jackson from the navigation station. "Sirius Outpost. Small consortium trading and refueling station. About 60 personnel, mostly Axrani." Adam nodded. The Axrani were one of the many alien species that made up the consortium. They had blue skin and 4 arms. Some of them had been among the forces that bombed Earth. "Any warships?" Adam asked. "One small patrol craft," answered Kevin Powell at the security station. "Nothing our weapons can't handle." Adam took a deep breath. This was the moment they had waited 5 years for, the first strike back against the beings who had destroyed their world. "Begin attack pattern. Weapons ready." The quantum drive hummed as the Vengeance suddenly appeared just 500 miles from the consortium outpost. On the main screen, Adam could see the station, a spinning wheel-shaped structure with ships docked along its edge. "They've spotted us," Maria Garcia said from communications. "They're sending confused messages to each other. They don't recognize our ship design." "Of course they don't," Samantha Wright said with a grim smile. "They think we're all dead." The patrol ship moved to intercept them, its weapons powering up. It was small compared to the Vengeance, about the size of an old Earth naval destroyer. "Target their engines," Adam ordered. "I want them disabled, not destroyed." Lisa Bennett spoke up from the science station. "Captain, if we capture that ship intact, I can study their current technology. See what's changed in 5 years." Adam nodded. "Kevin, prepare a boarding team." The Vengeance fired its particle beam. A thin line of blue energy connected the 2 ships for just a second. The patrol ship's engines went dark. It drifted, powerless. "Direct hit," Kevin reported. Their shields never even slowed it down. "Now the station," Adam ordered. The Vengeance fired again, this time a warning shot that passed close to the station without hitting it. Maria opened a communication channel. "Attention Consortium Outpost," Adam said, his voice steady. "This is Captain Adam Hayes of the Earth warship Vengeance. Your patrol vessel has been disabled. We can do the same to your station. Surrender now." There was silence for a moment. Then a surprised voice replied in accented English. "Earth? That is impossible. Earth was cleansed 5 years ago." "Clearly, you missed some of us," Adam replied. "You have 3 minutes to surrender before we board your station by force." The boarding went smoothly. Kevin led a team of 20 soldiers in armored spacesuits. The Axrani and other aliens on the station offered little resistance. Most were traders and technicians, not soldiers. Kevin moved through the station's corridors, his weapon ready. The aliens backed away, their 4 arms raised in surrender. Their blue faces showed confusion and fear. "They really thought we were extinct," Kevin said over the radio to the bridge. "You should see their faces, Captain. They look like they've seen ghosts." Within an hour, the humans had control of both the station and the patrol ship. Lisa led a team of engineers downloading all the data they could find. Samantha studied the patrol ship's engines. "We need to hurry," Maria warned from the bridge. "I'm picking up communications. The station missed its regular check-in. They're sending another patrol to investigate." On the station, Kevin interrogated the Axrani commander, a tall blue alien with decorations on his uniform. "How is this possible?" the alien asked. "The Consortium's Supreme Council confirmed the human extinction." "They were wrong," Kevin said simply. "And now you're going to tell us everything you know about Consortium patrol routes, defense systems, and fleet positions." The alien's eyes widened. "You don't understand. The Consortium controls thousands of worlds. Your one ship cannot hope to fight them all." Kevin smiled coldly. "We don't need to fight them all. We just need them all to be afraid. Back on the Vengeance, Adam studied the star charts they had taken from the station. The human ship was about to disappear again, leaving behind a mystery that would spread fear throughout the consortium. Next target, Adam asked. Paul looked up from navigation. A mining colony in the Procyon system. It's run by the Viridian species. They provided the bombs that hit our major cities. Adam nodded. Set course. It's time they learned that Earth hasn't forgotten. News of the attack on the Sirius outpost spread quickly through consortium space. The Vengeance had disappeared after the raid, leaving confused and frightened aliens behind. On the consortium capital world of Axis Prime, the Supreme Council held an emergency meeting. High Commander Scythrol, a tall reptilian alien with gray scales and yellow eyes, stood before the council members from 12 different species. The reports must be wrong, he hissed. Humans cannot have built such a ship. We destroyed their world. We monitored their system for years afterward. Yet a human ship attacked the Sirius outpost, said one of the council members, and our patrol vessel's weapons had no effect on it. Scythrol's tail twitched in anger. I will handle this myself. I will take the enforcement fleet and find this human ship. I will finish what we started 5 years ago. Meanwhile, on the Vengeance, William Carter worked in his small office near the bridge. As strategic officer, his job was to plan the ship's campaign against the consortium. He was writing in a notebook when Captain Hayes entered. William, what are you working on? Adam asked. William looked up. He was younger than most of the senior crew, only 26, but his mind was sharp and creative. I call it the Nightmare Protocol, he answered. It's a psychological warfare campaign. We don't just want to hurt the consortium. We want them to fear us. Adam sat down across from him. Tell me more. We've hit 2 targets so far, the Sirius outpost and the Procyon mining colony. Both times we left survivors to spread the word. Now the consortium knows humans still exist. They're confused and nervous. William turned his notebook so Adam could see his notes. Next, we need to make them truly afraid. We need to attack places they think are safe. We need to appear and disappear like ghosts. We need to make every species that helped destroy Earth believe they're next. Adam nodded slowly. And we keep avoiding civilian casualties. Yes, William agreed. That's important. We show more mercy than they showed us. It will confuse them even more. On the bridge, Paul Jackson was testing the limits of the quantum drive. The navigation system showed star maps that stretched across the known galaxy. The drive is performing better than expected, he told Samantha Wright. We can jump farther than our original calculations suggested. Samantha checked the engine readings. The energy core is stable even at higher outputs. We could potentially reach any system in consortium space without stopping to recharge. Paul smiled. They won't be able to predict where we'll strike next. No place will feel safe. In another part of the ship, Maria Garcia listened to consortium communications she had intercepted. The aliens were talking about the human ship in frightened tones. They're calling us the ghost ship or the demon vessel, she reported to Lisa Bennett. Some of them think we're not really humans at all, but some new species using human appearance to frighten them. Lisa laughed. If only they knew. We're just the last survivors of a planet they thought they'd destroyed completely. 3 days later, the Vengeance appeared in orbit around a luxury resort planet called Azure. The planet was a playground for wealthy consortium citizens. It had never been attacked in the long history of the consortium. The human ship did not fire its weapons. It simply broadcast images of Earth burning. The pictures showed alien ships bombing human cities. They showed children running from fire. They showed the aftermath. A dead world. After the images, a simple message followed. We remember, do you? Then the Vengeance disappeared again, leaving panic in its wake. In his quarters, Adam reviewed the ship's next targets with William. The enforcement fleet is searching for us, William said, led by High Commander Scythrol himself. Good. Adam replied. Let them search. Meanwhile, we'll continue following the Nightmare Protocol. Our next target is a military shipyard in the Epsilon system. William nodded. According to our intelligence from the Sirius outpost, the shipyard is building new weapon systems. If we can steal that technology, we can make the Vengeance even stronger. Adam looked at the star map. How long until we arrive? Just 6 hours, William answered. They won't be expecting us. No one expects a ship that can appear anywhere without warning. Behind them, through the viewport, stars streaked by as the Vengeance moved through folded space, a black ghost carrying Earth's vengeance to its next target. The Vengeance floated in deep space, making repairs after their raid on the Epsilon shipyard. The mission had been a success, but the ship had taken damage for the first time. One of the consortium's new weapons had managed to hit them before they escaped. Outer hull breach on Deck 4 is sealed, Samantha reported to Captain Hayes. We captured some interesting technology from the shipyard. Their new targeting systems are more advanced than what they had 5 years ago. Adam nodded, looking tired. They had been attacking consortium targets for 3 months now. Each raid made them stronger as they stole more alien technology, but the consortium was starting to adapt to their tactics. Captain, Maria called from her station. I'm picking up a distress signal. It's not consortium. Adam frowned. This wasn't part of their mission plan. Source: a small moon orbiting a gas giant in the Deneb system. The signal is using an old frequency. I don't recognize the language. Lisa moved to Maria's station and listened to the signal. It's not any consortium species I know. Should we ignore it? Adam thought for a moment. Their mission was revenge against the consortium, not rescue operations, but curiosity won out. Set course for the signal, he ordered, but be ready to jump away at the first sign of trouble. The Vengeance arrived at the gas giant 6 hours later. The moon was small and rocky, with a thin atmosphere. Scans showed a settlement of some kind on the surface. I'm detecting about 200 life forms, Lisa reported, and a consortium slave ship in orbit. They appear to be raiding the settlement. Adam's eyes hardened. The consortium's practice of enslaving lesser species was one of many reasons humanity had rebelled in the first place. Weapons ready. Target the slave ship's engines only. The Vengeance appeared right behind the consortium vessel. One quick shot disabled its engines. The alien ship hung helpless in space. They're trying to call for help, Maria said. Should I block their signal? No, Adam replied. Let them tell everyone that humans stopped them from taking slaves. Let them spread more fear. Kevin led a boarding party onto the slave ship. They freed 30 captives who had already been loaded into holding cells. Then they forced the consortium slavers to flee in their escape pods, leaving their ship behind. On the moon's surface, Nancy Taylor, the ship's cultural specialist, led a small team to meet the inhabitants. She was surprised by what they found. The aliens called themselves the Nyx. They were tall and thin with pale skin that seemed almost translucent. Their eyes were large and completely black. They lived in underground cities to hide from the consortium. We have been hiding for thousands of years, explained the Nyx leader to Nancy. The consortium destroyed our homeworld long ago, just as they destroyed yours. Nancy was shocked. You know about Earth. The Nyx leader nodded sadly. We have been watching. We see all that happens in the galaxy, though we are too few to fight back. Earth was not the first world the consortium cleansed. They have done this many times over many centuries. Back on the Vengeance, Adam met with the Nyx leader. The alien was studying the human ship with obvious interest. Your quantum technology is impressive, but still young, the Nyx said. We can help you improve it. In exchange for what? Adam asked carefully. Protection, and perhaps a new home someday. There are only a few thousand of us left, like you humans. Daniel Harris, the ship's medical officer, joined the meeting. Captain, I've been examining their biology. The Nyx have incredible regenerative abilities. Their medical knowledge could help us ensure the survival of the human race. Adam considered this unexpected turn of events. The Vengeance had set out on a mission of revenge. Now they might have found something even more valuable. Allies and hope for the future. "We accept your offer," Adam told the Nix leader. "We'll help each other survive." The Nix smiled, showing pointed teeth. "And together, perhaps we can stop the consortium from destroying any more worlds." William joined them, already thinking of how this changed their strategic position. If there are other species in hiding, other victims of the consortium, then we find them, Adam finished. We build a coalition of the survivors, and we show the consortium that their days of destroying worlds are over. For the first time since Earth fell, Adam felt something beyond anger and revenge. He felt hope. 2 months after finding the Nix, the Vengeance looked like a different ship. The Nix engineers had helped upgrade many of its systems. The quantum drive was now 30% more efficient. The weapons hit harder. The shields could withstand more damage. Captain Adam Hayes stood on the bridge with his executive officer, Catherine Lewis. They were looking at a holographic map showing the location of Axis Prime, the central world of the consortium. "Are you sure about this?" Catherine asked quietly. "According to the Nix, Axis Prime has a population of over 12 billion. Most of them are ordinary citizens from dozens of species." Adam stared at the slowly rotating planet in the hologram. After months of raids and attacks, they had finally gathered enough intelligence to locate the consortium's capital world, the place where the order to destroy Earth had come from. "The Nightmare Protocol has worked better than we expected," Adam said. "The consortium is in chaos. Their ships are scattered, trying to protect too many targets. This is our chance to strike at their heart." Catherine nodded but looked troubled. "I understand that. But what exactly are we going to do when we get there? The Vengeance has enough firepower now to cause serious damage to a planet." It was the question that had been weighing on Adam's mind for days. What was the right punishment for those who had destroyed Earth? Could they bring themselves to do to Axis Prime what had been done to their homeworld? Before Adam could answer, Frank Mitchell, the ship's eye specialist, entered the bridge. "Captain, I've been analyzing the consortium communications we intercepted," Frank said. "I found something interesting. Some of the consortium species actually opposed the decision to destroy Earth." Adam turned to him in surprise. "What do you mean?" Frank pulled up several message records on a nearby screen. According to these communications, 3 species, the Tellarites, the Voth, and the Arcadians, all argued against the destruction of Earth. They wanted to simply quarantine the solar system instead. But they were outvoted, Catherine said. "Yes," Frank confirmed. "The majority, led by High Commander Scathrol's species, the Drax, insisted that humans were too dangerous to be allowed to exist." Adam looked back at the hologram of Axis Prime. This new information complicated things. It wasn't as simple as us versus them anymore. The consortium wasn't a single entity that had unanimously decided to destroy humanity. It was a collection of different species with different opinions. "Call the senior staff to the conference room," Adam ordered. "We need to make a decision about our next move." An hour later, the ship's senior officers sat around the conference table. The hologram of Axis Prime floated above them. "We have a choice to make," Adam began. "We set out on this mission to avenge Earth. Now we have the power to strike directly at the consortium capital. But we've learned that not all consortium species supported Earth's destruction." William Carter, who had designed the Nightmare Protocol, spoke up. "The goal was always to make them fear us, to show them that humans aren't so easily erased from the galaxy. We don't need to destroy their world to do that." "What are you suggesting?" Kevin Powell asked. The security officer had lost his entire family when Sydney was bombed. He had more reason than most to want revenge. "A precision strike," William said. "We target only military installations and government facilities. We capture their leaders, especially those who voted to destroy Earth. But we leave their cities and civilians untouched." Lisa Bennett nodded in agreement. That would show a level of control and mercy that they never showed us. It would make a powerful statement. Kevin frowned. They didn't show mercy to our children. Why should we show mercy to theirs? The room fell silent. It was the question at the heart of their mission. Were they fighting to get revenge or to get justice? Were they trying to be better than those who had destroyed their world, or were they willing to become just like them? We should vote, Adam finally said. This decision affects all of humanity. Every person on this ship should have a say in what we do next. Samantha Wright, who had been quiet until now, looked up. If we destroy their world, how are we any different from them? If we show mercy where they showed none, that's how Earth's legacy lives on. Adam looked around the table at his crew. In their faces he saw anger, pain, but also something else, the humanity that the consortium had tried and failed to extinguish. Prepare the ship, he ordered. We leave for Axis Prime in 6 hours, and when we get there, we'll show them who humans really are. Axis Prime was a jewel of a planet, with blue oceans, green continents, and white clouds swirling in its atmosphere. From orbit, it looked peaceful and beautiful, much like Earth once had. The EWS Vengeance appeared suddenly in the planet's orbit, bypassing the extensive defense network using technology provided by the NEX. Alarms immediately sounded throughout the consortium capital. Defensive ships scrambled to intercept the human vessel, but they were too slow and too few. On the bridge, Captain Adam Hayes watched the panic unfold on the screens. After months of raids and the carefully executed Nightmare Protocol, the mere sight of the human ship was enough to cause fear. We're being hailed by planetary defense, Maria reported. They're demanding we surrender or be destroyed. Adam almost smiled at the empty threat. Open a channel to all frequencies. Let everyone on the planet hear this. When Maria nodded that the channel was open, Adam spoke clearly and calmly. This is Captain Adam Hayes of the Earth Warship Vengeance. 5 years ago, your consortium destroyed our world. Billions of innocent humans died. Children, elders, people who had never harmed you. He paused, letting his words sink in. You thought you had wiped us out completely. You were wrong. On his signal, Maria began broadcasting images across all consortium channels. The screens showed Earth's final days, cities burning, people running in terror. And finally, the planet left dead and barren. We are here today to show you what you have done, to make sure you never forget. The defensive ships were getting closer now. Small weapons fired at the Vengeance, but the enhanced shields held easily. We could do the same to you. Adam continued. We have the power to burn your cities as you burned ours, but we choose not to. At his command, the Vengeance fired its weapons with surgical precision. The particle beams and kinetic projectiles struck only military bases and government buildings. No civilian areas were targeted. We are not like you, Adam said. We do not kill innocent people for the crimes of their leaders. Kevin led boarding teams to the Consortium Supreme Council building. Using the NIX technology, they bypassed defenses and transported directly inside. The council members were trying to flee when the humans arrived. High Commander Thrall drew a weapon, but Kevin shot it from his clawed hand before he could fire. You, Thrall hissed, recognizing the humans. How dare you invade our sacred capital? How dare you destroy our world? Kevin replied calmly. You are now prisoners of the human race. You will stand trial for genocide. Back on the Vengeance, Susan Clark, the ship's science officer, monitored the operation. All targets hit with minimal collateral damage. The council members have been captured. Catherine Lewis stood beside Adam, watching the scenes from the planet's surface. The citizens of Axis Prime were frightened but unharmed. Many were watching the images of Earth's destruction with horror on their faces. They never showed these images to their own people, Catherine realized. Most of them didn't know what was done to Earth. Adam nodded. That's why we had to come here. Not just for revenge, but for truth. On the surface, one of the council members, a female Arcadian with feathered skin, approached Kevin. I voted against Earth's destruction, she said quietly. Some of us tried to stop it. Kevin looked at her for a long moment. Then help us now. Help us build something better than the consortium. Hours later, with the consortium leadership secured and the defense network disabled, Adam addressed the crew of the Vengeance. Today we showed the galaxy who humans truly are. We had the power to destroy, but we chose justice over vengeance. We chose to be better than those who try to erase us. He looked around at the tired but proud faces of his crew. Earth may be gone, but humanity lives on. And today we've proven why we deserve to. The people of Axis Prime watched in amazement as the fearsome human ship that could have destroyed their world instead departed peacefully, taking only the consortium leadership who had ordered Earth's destruction. The stories would spread across the galaxy of the warship that brought not destruction, but justice, of the humans who showed mercy when none had been shown to them. The galaxy had feared the humans' revenge. Instead, they received a lesson in humanity. 1 year after the day the Vengeance appeared at Axis Prime, the galaxy was a different place. The consortium had fallen. In its place, a new Galactic Council had formed, with representatives from all species, including humans. The Grand Council chamber on the neutral planet of Centauri III was filled with delegates from over 50 worlds. At one of the seats sat Captain Adam Hayes, now representing the remaining humans in the galaxy. Beside him was a delegate from the Nyx. Around them were representatives from former consortium species and many others who had been in hiding from consortium rule. The first meeting of the new Galactic Council is now in session, announced the council leader, a female Arcadian who had once voted against Earth's destruction. Our first order of business is to establish the core principles that will guide us forward. Adam looked around the chamber. A year ago, many of these beings had been enemies. Some had directly participated in Earth's destruction. Others had stood by and allowed it to happen. Now they were trying to build something new together. Outside the council building, the Vengeance floated in orbit alongside 2 new Earth ships, the EWS Remembrance and the EWS Phoenix. Built with help from the Nyx and other allies, they represented humanity's growing presence in the galaxy. After the council meeting, Adam walked with Catherine Lewis through the gardens outside the chamber. "Did you ever think we'd end up here?" Catherine asked. "When we left Antarctica 5 years ago, I thought we were on a suicide mission of revenge." Adam shook his head. "Never. I thought we'd hurt them, as much as we could before they destroyed us too. I never imagined we'd help create a new galactic government." The vote to outlaw planetary destruction passed unanimously, Catherine noted. No species will ever face what Earth did again. Back on the Vengeance, Samantha Wright was training a crew of younger engineers. With help from the Nyx and other allies, they had constructed a special biodome on the ship. Inside, Lieutenant Joseph Green carefully planted a small tree in real Earth soil. "This oak sapling is from seeds we rescued before the evacuation," Joseph explained to a group of alien visitors. "We've preserved as many Earth species as we could. One day, we hope to find a new world where they can all grow free." Joseph had lost his parents and 3 sisters when the consortium bombed Chicago. For years, his only goal had been revenge. Now he found meaning in preserving what remained of Earth. In another part of the ship, William Carter met with representatives from various species. Together, they were creating a historical archive, ensuring that the story of Earth and its destruction would never be forgotten. "The next generation needs to understand both our mistakes and our triumphs," William told them. "How hatred nearly destroyed us all, and how mercy saved us." Later that evening, Captain Hayes stood on the observation deck of the Vengeance with Lisa Bennett. Through the viewport, they could see stars stretching to infinity. "Our long-range scans have detected possible human radio signals from the Andromeda direction," Lisa said. "Some colony ships may have escaped before Earth fell." Adam felt a surge of hope. "How soon can we launch an expedition?" "The Phoenix is being prepared now. With the new drive systems, we could reach the edge of our galaxy in just 2 months. Adam nodded. I want to lead that mission personally. If there are more humans out there, we need to find them. As they spoke, Engineer Wright joined them, carrying a small device. It's ready, Captain. The three of them watched as a small probe launched from the Vengeance, heading toward where Earth once orbited. The probe contained a powerful beacon and a simple message in all known languages. Here stood Earth. Here lived humanity. Remember what was lost. Build what might have been. The beacon would last for thousands of years, a memorial to a world destroyed by fear and hatred. What do you think Earth would make of us now? Lisa asked quietly. Of what we've become. Adam watched the probe disappear into the distance. I think they'd be proud. We lost our world, but we saved our humanity. In the end, that's what mattered most. As the Vengeance prepared for its journey to find other human survivors, the galaxy no longer cowered in horror at the sight of the Earth warship. Instead, they looked to it with respect, not just for its power, but for the mercy it had shown when revenge was within its grasp.